Hello, welcome internet or wherever you're finding this. My name is Miz Diamond Wigfall, and we are here for another episode 5, I think it is. Episode 5 of Yas Talk, which is a podcast for queer people where we kind of indulge in our yassifications of who we are and all that sort of jazz. It's pretty fun. It's pretty gay. And we are produced by Peabody TV. We love you, Peabody TV. Thank you for making queer voices have a place to go. And we love Randall. Give it up for Randall, our producer. Yay! I am so excited because episode 5 is kicking off with a hometown queero that I love so much. Please give it up for my special guest, Peewee Vermin.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Peewee. So shy.
I'm so very shy.
You are.
I am, actually. I'm actually really terribly shy. Not on stage, though, just...
But in front of, 1, 2, 3
there
cameras.
There are 3 cameras.
There are 3 cameras.
And I keep on making eye contact with myself.
With yourself?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, no.
Anytime I make eye contact with myself, it's definitely a jump scare.
And we're like,
oh, my gosh. I look like that today? I know.
No, I thought I looked so good.
You do look so good. You always look so good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You also look amazing. We coordinated today.
We do. I try to coordinate with every guest if I can, but today I loved the challenge of I'm painting my skin blue. I was like, okay, let's do it.
I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to paint myself blue today.
That's fine. I think that you always kill it with every single makeup choice that you make. Seriously.
Thank you.
You have a full-on Picasso on your face pretty much every single time you get into drag. It's very, very impressive.
Thank you.
Where did you start with makeup? What was your makeup journey when you started with all that?
So I got really into makeup early YouTube days. I think I was really into the beauty gurus at the time. And at the time I was performing femininity, and so that was kind of where makeup started. Is I just wanted to be seen as pretty, but then felt really uncomfortable being seen as pretty. So it was this very
interesting.
Very actually kind of uncomfortable relationship with makeup.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but then as I started drag, I kind of restarted doing makeup and having a lot of fun with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love that journey. That's a cool journey. So at this podcast, we talk about kind of 2 major topics. So I try to talk about people's drag or their art and how they their journey through it. And then we'll talk about your gender identity and kind of your journey through queerness and how it's come to you. So drag.
Yes.
When did you start drag?
So I started drag during the pandemic, 2020.
Okay.
My old roommate, Kane.
Shout out to Kane.
Who is kind of like my drag mother, was producing a digital drag show. And at the time, I had come up with the name Peewee Vermin because I was like, if I ever did drag, that's the name. Isn't that funny? Ha, ha, ha. And she was producing a show, a digital drag show. And she's like, well, you came up with a name. Why don't you use it? And I was like, fair enough.
And get off your ass
and
do some
work.
drag. Yeah.
So I did. I started doing digital stuff, which was really interesting and fun. It was basically making little music videos.
Yep.
And that's how I started. And then I think at one point I messaged you and I was like, could I try brunch? And you were like, okay. And then that's
Really? I think that's crazy. So you only did the digital and then I was your first in-person drag gig?
Solo in-person drag gig, yes, you were.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Prior to that, I would be in people's numbers for burlesque, but I really at that point before the pandemic happened, I was like, drag is not something I don't think I could ever do. I just didn't think I could do it. No.
And look at you. And literally look at you. You're so good at drag.
I don't know. I just felt really anxious about it, and I didn't think I was good at improv, and I didn't think I was good at connecting with people. So I was really didn't think I could do it. And
That's
then,
so interesting to me.
I don't know. I decided to because of the pandemic, and I think just I had a little brain crisis where I was I need to do things that make me uncomfortable and make me challenge myself. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be sitting here doing nothing.
I mean, pandemic drag is such an interesting way to start drag. It's funny because when Hanukkah Lewinsky was here, she was saying that her first technical Hanukkah Lewinsky appearance was through digital drag. Because at the time, a lot of people, I find it really funny because even I took a lot of risks as who I was and my queer identity when I was in the pandemic. That's when I shaved my eyebrows off and I didn't care anymore. And there were lots of social I guess, circumstances that didn't have to apply to myself anymore because I was safe in my home being able to be exactly who I wanted to be. So it's funny that through that you found drag, or it gave you this character that you're. And so other than starting with the brunch, you have done other things. We've done the movies. We have done all different sorts of shows throughout our time together. I mean, we've known each other for, I guess, like friends. We've been friends for like 3-ish years about. But you did do, I didn't realize you backup danced for Kane years ago in 2018. And I didn't even know that was you.
And I think I went up to you at some point and I had been like, you can call me my legal name. And then I think I was like, actually, could you call me Peewee Vermin? And you're like, what? And that was another time that I was like, okay, I mean, that was like kind of fun, but I don't think I could do this by myself.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, because your fashion is so freaking cool. You always find the coolest pieces, coolest patterns, coolest color stories. I mean, you inspire me to be like, push it. Even today, I was like, I gotta turn it out. Like, I gotta get some dots on my face. I gotta blend some colors. Like, this is not your walk around and look pretty drag. This is your drag.
Drag.
Yeah, this is real drag.
I think I really just like interesting clothing. Like this thing that I'm wearing, the suit, for those people who can see.
Yeah, please watch it on YouTube.
Please.
I feel like listening to it on Spotify is one thing, but we turn out some great looks.
We look great right
We
now.
look really good.
Do. But this I had before I ever started doing drag.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, of course.
I just wanted it.
Of course.
I think I have like a low-key shopping addiction that probably needs.
Low-key.
High key.
Well,
I'm really good at finding sales, and that's the problem.
Well, the thing, you work at Die With Your Boots On. Shout out to Die With Your Boots On. We love you guys. Talk about your journey there, because you started working on the floor, you were saying, and now you've kind of reshifted.
So I started, that was another one of my like, I have to like change my like life a little bit. I had been working as a barista for like 4 years at that point.
You mean a barista?
A barista. And I just wanted something that was a little bit more creative, something I could do more stuff, be around more creative people. And so I started like seasonal, retail job. And then now I'm like a creative associate over there. So
cool.
Started from the bottom, worked every job, and now I'm
you
editing
do a lot of
videos.
Yeah, I was going to say you do a lot of their social media now.
I do, yes.
And you're out of drag fashion. The reason why I bring up Die With Your Boots On is because you're out of drag fashion is so fucking good too.
Thanks.
It makes me so angry. I'm like, oh God, like, because I've spent, obviously drag is expensive as hell. It's so expensive. So like I've invested a lot in Diamond, but there's not a lot of times where I get to invest, I guess, in AJ or outside of drag clothes. And when I started, it was kind of similar where I would always be punk. I'd always have fun fabrics, fun colors. Like my drag was my getting ready for the day. I always wore just like some lipstick sometimes, or like I slowly turned up the drag dial. And then once you have this persona and it's so expensive to be able to like turn out a look, a lot of my focus went to there. So seeing your out of drag looks and how impressive you are with colors, with different cuts. I love how baggy some of your things are, but then I love how you switch it up. Like you can have this tight like suit jacket on as well, and I don't know, it's very impressive. How did you start with style? Like what's your earliest memories of being like, oh, I need to wear this loud ass print?
I had like a big reputation in high school by being like that person that had at least 4 different prints on.
Yeah.
I had like printed tights, printed skirt, printed shirt. I had like a little hat. I wore little booties. It was crazy. I just like always, I've never been a loud personality. And so I like to incorporate fashion in a way to show people, kind of who I am. Inside, that's a little lame, but
no, it's not.
I don't know.
I love that. I absolutely love that because I'm over here I'm fucking loud and then I'm loud. I have nothing to hide. I'm just so loud and gay.
I also think if you wear something that's kind of interesting, people will come up to you and talk to you. And if you're someone who struggles with talking to other people, but if you want to talk to other people, that's my thing. Is I'm so shy, but I desperately want to be around other people. So I just kind of like make myself look interesting, and that kind of attracts people to like come up to me.
I mean, hey.
And mostly in a good way now. I think I figured out my personal style a little bit better. So now I think it's like, oh, hey, cool shirt. So
yeah. I feel like once you do drag more often, you start to kind of ebb and flow.
What's going to be? There's been days I look like garbage.
Out of drag or in drag or both?
Oh, out of both, probably.
Both across the board. I mean, there's lots of looks where I look back at my time in drag and I'm like, oh shit, like that was not great. I was feeling so beautiful. Yeah. I was feeling on top of the world. You couldn't tell me anything, but I did look like doo-doo.
Yeah. Yeah, I look back and I'm like, But then I also look back and the first time I did drag with you was wearing this suit, so some choices stay.
I mean, I've had this hair and this bodysuit for a while, but I've never done really. I think this type of face, I guess it's far and few between where I get to do like these fun, colorful foundation colors that are like that's your signature. I feel like, and even when you do, I guess like a regular foundation
there's
color,
something messed up.
There's something like messed up about it. It's so cool.
Thank you.
How do you choose like what color stories to bring from your face to your makeup? Because I feel like sometimes they're so different in a good way, but they match. Like they're all like the red or the like salmony color on your lips to like under your eye. It matches the shirt. The blue in your skin kind of matches the jacket a little bit, and the plaid and the neck with the plaid. Like it's so cool how you get all these details in.
So some of it is just luck, I think. Also, I think I just I pick a couple color stories. I think I have always painted, so I always have had this idea of what colors go well together. So that's always kind of in the back of my mind is I don't really think about it anymore. I know what looks bad and what looks good.
I feel that.
In terms of colors, and then I go from there. And then it's all about like time and application. But it really is just, I know there's certain things that I always have, and that's like bags under my eyes. So I always know there's going to be like a purple, red, green in that.
Gotcha.
And then I pick little things from that to kind of accentuate the rest of my face. It is just kind of a playing around and knowing and learning.
I mean, there's been a lot of fucking around and finding out from my drag for sure. It's taking. You can swear, by the way. You can do it.
Thank God.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't have to censor yourself unless you're going to say something hateful, and then I say don't say that.
Well, I'm not going to say anything hateful.
What?
Except for
I mean, all the things that you were saying before we started. I'm kidding. I mean, that's not my joke. He starts panicking. Peewee Vermin canceled.
Please. I mean, I think if anyone's interested in learning about like colors and color theory, just get like one of those little like paper color wheels. They really help.
They do really help.
And you can like spin the little wheel and it tells you what like colors mix together. So if you're someone who's like unsure about colors, definitely just like, get a book that just has like colors you like and look at that and then just kind of use that as inspiration.
I mean, what I love contrasting colors. Like I love an orange with a blue.
I love an orange with a blue.
I love an orange with a blue. I you know what color story I hate? Like I have so much hate for pink and green.
Oh, I kind of like pink and green.
No. Unless we're giving like sour candy, like unless we're giving full on like
you're gonna
Y2K.
Hate me right now. You're
what?
Low key wearing pink and green.
I know.
You're like pink and green.
I hate it. I
like it.
I like the blue and pink. I'll go blue and pink.
Blue and pink. I really like that.
And that's why the blue made it easier for me. I was like, okay, but when it's just pink and green,
that's fair.
It feels yucky to me.
It reminds me of like strawberry shortcake, and I think that's cute.
Pink and green. I guess so. I think it's cute.
Nice.
So you started drag in the pandemic. You've been performing with us for about 2-ish years, 3 years now, I feel like. Because you definitely did the first year of the dine-in, which was 2021. So we're at 2024 now. So you've been doing stuff with us for about 3 years.
Yes.
What over this time in drag and as Peewee Vermin has been some of the highlights of performances that you've enjoyed, productions that we've been a part of, or things that you've done? I think that you have a wonderful performance style. I even think that you're going through a renaissance. I think that there has been a shift in
There's
the
been
Peewee.
A bit of a shift.
There's been a shift in the Peewee Vermin waters, and I am here for it. America, YouTube, I'm here for it. There's like a sexy adult Peewee Vermin that's coming out.
It's happening.
It's happening. Instead of like a shy like boy, which I do love. But I'm loving this dark and twisted journey
Thank
you're going
you.
on. So yeah, talk about some of the stuff we've done or some of the highlights for you.
I really like anything that has a narrative. That's kind of like stuff I like to do. So I really like doing the shadow cast just because I love a script. I love to know what's happening next.
And you're such a badass actor.
Thank you.
You're so goddamn good.
Thanks.
Because there are a lot of people who do drag that are good at drag, but it doesn't necessarily translate to acting or the stage or like telling a narrative. And you're a badass. That's the only word that I can think of is just like you're a badass at acting. You bring it. You bring it every time, honey.
I try.
Yeah.
So I really like that. There's been it's hard to like pinpoint things because like in my brain everything like mushes together.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
But last year was my first time in both parades, in both the
Haunted Happenings, and the Pride Parade,
and I really enjoyed that. I don't know, it was like it made me like teary eyed.
Yeah,
it was like I don't know.
Well, the North Shore Pride Parade is huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah,
and so is the Haunted Happenings Parade. It's humongous. It's humongous. And we're very lucky. So the Hometown Queeros, if you don't know, it's a collective of queer artists in the North Shore area that run a bunch of events, and we kind of work together. We do lots of holiday shows, lots of special things together, people's birthdays, lots, where we have Big Gay Night Out as a group once a month at Hallowed Ground. So as a crew, and all of our supporters and people who are a part of our community get to march with us at the North Shore Pride Parade and also at the Haunted Happenings Parade.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
That was fun, and it's also like, especially in October, if you're someone who's lived in Salem, it can feel like hell, a lot of it, and that was one of the most magical moments of just being like, oh, people really like want to be here, want to have fun.
Yeah,
because it's been a while since I saw that in October, just because you get so jaded working in downtown Salem.
It's
you
horrible.
Just do, yeah.
You can't even move around anymore.
No.
I mean, they were saying that they were seeing like, I think it was 140,000 or something way more than the capacity of the city can actually hold.
And if everyone's having a fun time, I love it. But the last couple of years, a lot of people seemed really like upset to be there. And I'm like, you paid a lot of money. Have fun here.
Well, they all think it's Disney World.
They do.
They all think it's going to be like Halloween Town. And it's literally like one street.
It's one street. There's normal people. Townies, like it's Massachusetts, like
normal people,
not normal people. Oh yeah, I guess.
You would consider this normal? I don't think so. You do look really cute though. Normal-ish.
So the parade was just very nice to see everyone very excited to not only see us, but just to be like having fun and watching floats and stuff.
Yeah, we got to do a group with Wizard of Oz.
I really also liked that little outfit.
Oh, your lion. Your lion was
cowardly lion.
You were so cute. I also loved Mike Linda. I was like,
everyone looked so good.
Everyone
and
turned
people were really excited.
Yeah, we love a good group outfit.
And we captured like the older generation too. They were like really obsessed with us.
Of course, because
cool.
It's such iconic characters for queer people. I feel like specifically too, because of Judy Garland and all that. So I feel like it was just a nice. Because even kids, honestly, a lot of kids don't know about the Wizard of Oz now.
No, kids were like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, right. I think it's weird because when we were kids,
that was constantly,
you're like 98, 97. What are you?
I'm 95.
Why do I think you're like much younger than me?
Because I have a wonderful skin. No, my skin is actually trash.
Yeah.
I'm short. People think I'm younger.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
short.
I'm 94, but when I was a kid, we watched The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Like, and now I feel like, but that movie was so old for even us to be watching. But I feel like now the generations, when I was like teaching for kids and was nannying, they didn't know The Wizard of Oz. They didn't watch it. That was not.
There's like, give us Coco Melon or Bluey.
God.
Yeah,
Here we are.
There you are,
This
kids.
is Bluey, 2024 edition. That's awesome. So other than the parades, the shadow casts have been great. You've done so many cool roles. We did The Shining, and Peewee was Danny.
Yes.
I always want to say Michael, but that's not it.
That's
it's
not
Danny.
that, yeah,
Danny. You are so good as Danny in The Shining.
you.
I think I love you as you're always the little brother, or you're always the little kid.
Yeah.
You're always the little boy,
I
no
am.
matter what.
I am.
And you were amazing, and I love you in Elf when you're the little
yeah.
brother in Elf. Perfect for you. Also perfect for you. I'm trying to think of all the roles that you've done.
I really like, oh my God, what's his name? Randy in Scream.
Yes, you're perfect.
I think that's one of my favorites because that is kind of like just who I am, I think. Outside of drag too,
I think
kind of
so.
This person who's like, I have a lot of knowledge about a specific thing. Let me talk to you, and everyone around me is like already bored and trying to leave.
What does Randy say in the video store where he's like, "There's no motive. Like everyone's a suspect. Yeah. Everyone's a suspect." Yeah, that is you.
It's just me, like talking about my various interests.
I love Scream. You know,
Scream is underrated. It's really good.
The original is
yes,
under.
Yes.
It is so good. It's so well written.
Yeah, Wes Craven, I believe. Yeah.
Well, what I like about it is like they point out sexism. They point out these things like so more progressive than the time was. I feel like it was pretty rock and roll, and also we love what's her name? I just know her as with the nipples.
Oh my God.
Rose McGowan.
Yes.
Young Rose McGowan killing
So
it.
good.
Killing it.
So good.
Also getting killed, but killing it.
But killing it while doing it.
But killing it while getting killed. That was a great. I also loved you in Legally Blonde as Emmett.
Yeah, I love that. Also another character that I'm like,
Another
that
nerd.
is just kind of me. Yeah.
Another nerd. And then you also did Katie Heron.
I did do Katie Heron.
How was that? How did that feel to be a feminine presenting person? But also, I don't think you went all the way femme with it. You were still Peewee Vermin as Katie Heron.
I still kept like a little bit. It was weird. It was weird.
I'm sure. And like we'll talk about your gender and your journey with that after, but this is a good segue. So talk about how it felt playing a feminine character like that.
It was one of those things where I definitely felt there was a level of uncomfortableness, but I was prepared for that. And I guess it was like a character I never saw myself as, so that was really fun. I like playing kind of characters that are different than who I am. So that was fun.
But it's still in the same realm as you. It's the nerdy, shyer person. Like that's what
that aspect of it, yes.
That was my immediate thought was like, oh, they could probably pull this off because they're usually playing that sort of like meek person. Obviously, Katie has like a whole transformation.
Yes.
But keep going.
Yeah, so it was interesting. I think that was like a point of like, maybe I could wear a skirt.
Okay.
In drag, but also, it was like a mix of things. It was a mix of feelings of this feels off, but I think it looks good. But so have mixed feelings.
Okay, and that's fair. And I appreciate you being honest about those feelings because I think that a lot of people. I mean, when we did theater, we grew up doing theater. So we were constantly in positions where people were saying like, you have to perform femininity like this. You have to be masculine like this. It's the only way that people will see you as desirable. Yes. You'll be able to work. And I think it's a cool, unique experience where it's kind of like, here's this feminine character, but do it however you want. And you did a wonderful job of bringing Peewee to it. And like, I think the word is earnest. Like, you know, it was very sweet, and I loved seeing that journey, and I appreciate you for taking that challenge because it was a challenge. It was a challenge for you.
It definitely was. And it's a challenge I would definitely try again. I think anytime I do something for the first time, it's like I feel like I'm being thrown into the ocean.
Yeah.
So it was one of those moments, but I think now looking back, I'm like, oh, this is how I know to change things, and this is what I could do differently that I think would make me feel better, and then also the production will look better or be better.
No, I think that you're amazing in every show, especially those shadow casts. You like really are such an integral. I don't know how to say the words.
I don't know how to say. I was about to like chime in.
You're so important, Peewee.
Thank you.
You're so important.
Thank you.
So I'm very, very happy that you've been a part of all of those and been able to like grow with us. So let's move on from drag. So we talked about lots of different drag. We talked about how you started do backup kind of wit and burlesque, and we talked about digital drag and how that shifted into real life drag and the parades and all those things. So now let's talk about Peewee outside of drag and gender and sexuality and whatever comes up that you're comfortable with sharing. I'd love to. So when did you know that you were a little like,
so what's funny,
we flicked our wrists.
Yes,
if you're just a little like you know.
What's funny is that like as a child I was definitely like viewed as like a queer kid by other people, but I didn't really understand what that meant yet. And like constantly like everyone would always be like, asking if I was like who I was attracted to. That was a thing like by adults that I was around. So I didn't understand the idea of queerness or being gay for a long time, despite having really cool role models that fit that demographic. I think it was like towards the end of high school where I was like, well, if I fell in love with a woman, you know, that would be okay. And then I realized like, that's a little gay. And then also at the same time I was doing theater, and I was very adamant. I did not want to be called an actress, which is a whole thing. And I was like, I'm an actor. And then I was like, this was like 2012, where I was like, I don't even want to be referred to with her, she, at that point, which was crazy. And I didn't connect it to gender. I connected it to like this idea of like feminism, of like I was just as capable as anyone else.
Yep.
And then post that, I started to realize, like, beginning of college, that I did not and never had identified as a woman. Looking back at like other things in my childhood and things that I would like obsessively watched, like I used to watch like people's transition journey on YouTube. I would like constantly, but didn't connect it that was part of myself for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people who are you're non-binary. Is that what you identify as?
I identify as non-binary, but more specifically like trans masc, trans. I identify more as like a non-binary trans man than I do anything else. It's weird. It's not weird. It's life. It's like it's human. So I would say that I have dabbled with being non-binary, like trans femme in that way, and I've gone back and forth with different things. I think now I'm finding more masculinity and valuing my masculinity. That's been a journey over my last like year or so. You were talking about how you identify, I guess, towards non-binary trans masc type of deal. Yeah. I feel like I agree with that, and I've gone through phases where I really thought that there are stuff that I do believe I am non-binary. I thought I was trans femme, or I could have been trans for a little while, and I've been recently going through a masculine renaissance, which is so freaking weird for me. Just because I'm enjoying my out of drag body, my out of drag aesthetic. Like I've been really trying to push more for loving that part of myself, and instead of feeling like the only way I can be valued is through femininity. Yeah. I think that that's really hard as a drag queen per se, I guess, because when you're out of drag, and I'm sure you might feel the same way. Yeah. Where like people value all this, and then you get out of it and they're like, oh, let me misgender you now. Yeah. You know, and that's, ugh. Definitely. And I think like the biggest issue I think for me of finding, you know, myself and my gender, my queerness, was that I was so interested in what other people thought of me and being seen as attractive. So I played into femininity so hard because I was being rewarded for that.
Interesting.
But then I was so miserable the entire time.
Wow.
So since kind of like scaling back femininity, and there's a while where I was kind of trying to be like more masculine, and I do feel that I am kind of masculine in some sense, but I think that I'm coming to terms with that I enjoy being a feminine man, and that is what it is.
I love the journey for a lot of trans masc people, that there is almost like the I'm a gay boy type of vibe to it. Yeah. And I live for that. I love for that gender fuckery, truly, because I think it's so amazing that people can still identify with something like that and be trans. That it's almost like it's outside of gender. Yeah. The expressions that you choose, like the vocal fry, the certain things that queer people all have as like, I guess, attributes, like similar attributes where you would go down like stereotypes type of deal. Yeah. You know, there is some truth to like certain queer stereotypes that we all kind of have, or certain things that we have. And I find that so interesting that there are, like, someone like Gottmik exists. I love it. I love it. It's amazing.
It really is amazing. And playing around with how I present has been kind of fun for me recently, I think, and I'm becoming more comfortable with my body in different ways, and also more uncomfortable with my body in different ways.
No, like, you have. You're taping. Like, I saw that. Have you always done that?
No, it took me a while to get to that point. I think I used to be very, very thin, and then I gained some weight, and then that was kind of like during the pandemic. And since then, I have been like really like anxious about my body. So in trying to fight the stereotype of hyper, I don't know, femininity and, fat phobia, I'm trying to be like, no, my body is what it is. And if the only reason I'm not going to tape down my chest and be bare-chested is because I feel like I don't like my body, that's stupid.
That is, okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah, it's so
Let's go into this. I think there is a whole other level of drag with that.
Yes.
But I do think, I recently have lost almost like 30 pounds. Mm-hmm. I've been on like a journey of like my fitness and my health and valuing, honestly, just like taking care of myself. At the end of the day, I was done eating like shit. I was done doing those things. But there's always this thing in the back of my head, and I have intense body dysmorphia.
As do I.
I have intense body dysmorphia. I always, like the camera adds 10 pounds, like my brain adds like 100, and I can look at myself and I try to have this thing in my head where if I was to vocally say, oh, I look overweight in this, or I feel overweight, and somebody who truly is overweight that is struggling with these things hears me, and I don't want, I think that it's a ridiculous thing because I need to, like you said, value what I have, love my body for exactly what it is. Don't give into these, the fat phobia, the
idea of how you should look, and
it's difficult. It's so difficult because we are theater people, and then we're also drag people, and I feel like both of those
theater. If you've never experienced theater school, it is something that will give you an eating disorder, no matter what. It will. The way that like your body is treated is. It's inexcusable. Like thinking about how things that were said to my friends, things that were said to, that weren't said to me. Like I was underweight, and someone should have been like, "Are you okay?" But people
were praising you.
They were praising me for how I looked.
One of my senior year, one of my classes in college, there was a bunch of dancers. It was the dance emphasis, and one of the teachers, which you can probably figure it out, but I won't name them because they know who they are. They turned to like the entire group of people, and they were just like, "So all of you guys kind of need to lose weight." Like, you will not make it if you don't lose weight. And I'm looking at a room full of, like, beautifully gorgeous, ripped people. Like, they are all dancers. They're all beautiful. And I can understand if you want to individually have certain conversations with people to be like, hey, like, if this is the career you want, there are certain body types that people are looking for or casting directors are looking for. But how could you turn to a group of, like, impressionable 21-year-olds and be like, you all need to lose weight?
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
And especially, like, with performing, the goal should be that anyone of any body shape should be shown. And this idea that we're only showing a certain type is crazy. And it's also, I want to recognize that I am standard sizing, so I get a lot of, what is it? I have, my God, what's the word?
Privilege?
Privilege, thank you. So much privilege in that I can go through society without people immediately, deciding I'm, disgusting and whatnot. And it's just crazy to me that, like, someone like both you and me could be, like, told that.
I mean,
at like 18, 20.
20. Yeah, it's not healthy. I think I got told it in high school because I went to a theater program for high school, and I was told not to lose weight but to gain weight. They wanted me to they were like
more muscular.
Yeah, they were like we need you to work out. And I remember being like, that I don't want that body. I remember feeling extremely dysmorphic even at the thought of it. Like, I don't, that's where a lot of my like non-binary or like my gender euphoria comes from, I guess. Having more feminine, like a feminine type body. I just started laser hair removal again on my face, and it's brought me like, so it's crazy. And I don't want to say that like you need to be able to get surgery or plastic, no, but
gender affirming care can be, in It's incredible. It helps you in so many different ways.
It's helped me so much. Even in just the last couple weeks of like noticing how much less dark blueness I have underneath my skin, because I grow such intense facial hair that even if I shave all the way down, you can still see the beard underneath. And I remember like looking in the mirror and like hating my face, being so upset by it. And this new place, House of Laser. Shout out to House of Laser. Isn't that so gay?
I love it.
I love it.
House of Laser.
House of Laser. I did one session, and it's cleared up so much of my facial hair, more than any other laser I've done.
Yeah.
And it's felt so. I've looked in my mirror and I'm like, oh my God, this is what I finally can see the person that I want to see in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so interesting because bodies are hard.
Bodies are hard, and I think I'm at a point where I have been struggling so much with how I view my body that I'm challenging myself to make it be seen by other people. Because nothing, I think, I'm like one of those people that you just push me out into the water, and that's how I learn. I need the most extremes to get more comfortable with myself.
I
so
feel
I'm like,
that way.
I'll be half naked in front of 45 people, and that will make me at hallowed ground, and that will make me feel better about being, half naked in front of my own mirror for some reason.
I mean, that same night I was wearing like a skirt and a crop top, and I never wear show my midriff or anything like that, but I was like, just fucking do it.
Yeah,
just do it. Love your body. Your body's where it's at, and like it's not bad. Yeah. Like that's what I have to remind myself is like I am putting on these this horrible goggle of like, you hate yourself. You look so horrible. Like you look super overweight. And that's just not true. And I don't undervalue overweightness either. Like I'm attracted to husky people. I'm attracted to all kinds of body types. Truly, I am. Like, and I'm happy with that. I just think that, there's so much on your own body when you go through theater, being a dancer, being a drag performer, where you get this dysmorphia of like, wow, your waist doesn't look like that when you're out of drag. Your ass doesn't look like that when you're out of drag. And then it's like, what do I value if all I'm doing is kind of creating this fake body, this fake
and then
makeup?
It stops you from being like sincere. And that was this thing where I was worried about how I was looking, and if you're worried about how you're looking, you cannot connect with another person.
Of course,
in that moment.
I have a hard time.
It's so hard because then you're like, it's like you're trapped in your own body, and part of performing is your whole body, and you have to, embrace, what it is and whatnot. I don't know.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's all hard.
I'm happy that we had that.
I know. That's nice.
It is nice. It is nice. So we're gonna get towards the end of this chat here because I try to go quickly. But so we talked about drag, we talked about gender, we talked about bodies.
Body dysmorphia.
And now I want to talk about the fun topic. I usually try to bring like one thing that Chola Spears and I talked about, Britney Spears. I thought that we should talk about makeup because we are makeup people. So you said you started with the makeup gurus.
Yes.
Any people that you were inspired by specifically?
Oh my God. I really liked, I think her name is like Elisa Eldridge. Is that her name? I really liked really weird, like just like basic like bitch makeup gurus for a while.
Interesting.
And then I started.
I don't foresee that for you at all.
It's weird. I was like really into like Kardashian contour videos. I don't know, for a little bit.
What?
I don't know. And then I always forget people's names, but I think they're two sisters who have the company Real Techniques.
I do.
Their YouTube videos are so good. They go through and they're just like very like soft spoken and nice. And I don't know. I really like that. And then I just fell off makeup for a long time because I was really bored by everyone. And then recently, I feel like I'm finally interested in what people are doing, but I forget people's names.
It's okay. I mean, I follow Instagram accounts, and
I follow Instagram.
I don't know people's names. I know their Instagram account names.
I know their faces, and I'm like, this person. I really like this person. But
the two like makeup people that really inspire me. I know Ellis Atlantis is like everything to me. Yes. She knows I stan her. I DM her sometimes for the last couple years because I've always stanned her, and she's incredible. Her technique is amazing. Everything's amazing. And then I live for Made by Mitchell or Mitchell.
I also live.
Mitchell's
both
makeup.
of those people. Yeah. Both of those makeup companies. I bought Ellis's.
Oh, you got her palette?
Yeah, I did. It's good. It's good by Blend Bunny. I know brands more than I know like influencers. By Blend Bunny. That's really good. I really like Danessa Myricks stuff.
I mean, come on.
It's so good.
I feel like when I started drag, I'd be like, ugh, why would you spend so much money on makeup?
No, but I get it.
I get it now. I understand because, like, listen, I have a big thing with powders. Like, I don't understand why people use Airspun. Airspun makes me want to blow up because it is just you using Airspun today.
I'm not. So I'm actually using a mysterious mixture of powder. And I'm really pissed because I mixed two powders that I had long ago, and it's actually wonderful and beautiful, and I can't figure out which ones. And you don't know what they are.
So, like, I feel like powders, you can spend $10 on an Airspun, and this is, have the privilege to be able to buy expensive
Buy the
makeup.
Airspun if you need it.
I buy the Airspun. I'm just saying as a makeup artist, when you put Airspun on your face, it chalks up your face. It like cakes up your face. So if you put a lot of it on there, it adds texture to your face.
It does.
So I am bougie and I buy some Laura Mercier powder.
No, it's nice powder.
And truly, I've never been more happy with the investment.
I have a countersuit to this, and it is, I believe in different you set your makeup more than twice, more than 3 times. The powder that you put on all over your face, you then add more of the color that you're trying to enhance, more powder of that color. It goes wet, powder, powder, wet, spritz, yeah. I feel like people aren't adding enough powder.
I also think that.
I don't think people are going back in. I think they're setting it with the powder and then setting it with setting spray and they're calling it a day. It's like, no.
No, honey.
You need like 5 different
face powders. My biggest issue with drag makeup, and it's like such a red flag for me, is when they don't fucking wear bronzer. They don't wear bronzer.
My thing is blush.
But that too. Both
put
of them.
on drag kings out there.
Put on fucking blush.
Put on fucking blush, because if you just put on contour, you look dirty. You don't look sad. Yeah. There's no color to your face. You look like you put dust on your face. You have to add color back to your face.
I agree. That's
Otherwise,
why we need bronzer.
You also need bronzer.
You need bronzer and
yes.
blush. I feel like literally bronzer, blush, and foundation powders are the things that people don't use.
Yes, and
they don't use them.
And a foundation. I've seen this thing of
what do you mean?
People will, okay, so I'm crazy, but I add a layer of the same color foundation and then I go in with highlight and then I go in with contour.
That's what most people do, right? They do their whole foundation first and then they do contour and highlights.
I've seen a lot of people just do contour highlight and mix them together.
So I
don't have a medium shade.
Because I had the beard, I always have to cover up like with foundation first. What is it called? I like backwards paint, so I do.
Underpaint.
Underpaint, yeah.
Yes.
I underpaint, so I'll do my contours first, then highlight, and then I do like a little bit of foundation in between things.
I think I've been seeing people forgetting the actual foundation and mixing a bunch of concealers together.
So it just looks like dark white, like.
Yes. Or it's you need like a good foundation that works well for your skin, and that one does not have to be full coverage. I think there's this myth that you need like
full coverage,
powders. But if you layer, then it becomes full coverage.
I agree. I think that
we're just yelling at me.
Yeah, please blend your learn how to do makeup, please. It's killing me. It's killing me. I just don't like stamps. I don't like drag stamps. I don't like people who do the same goddamn face every time and call it a day. I'm like, if you're going to get on everybody else about sewing, if you're going to get on people about hair, if you're going to get on all these things, like let's get on people about makeup. Like if you're gonna, that's how I feel. If the standard is so high for everything else, but makeup, you can just do the same goddamn face every time and call it a day, and you're not trying to push yourself to learn like makeup technique. It's just like if people went into like, I don't know, like try to Vogue when they don't know how to Vogue and they've never been to a ball before, or they've never taken a lesson before. It's like, why do you think that you're just like all set, flailing around like a duck?
I will say that I am definitely, oh my God, I definitely think that makeup is something that takes time, and I think you can definitely create your own individual style, and you don't have to be perfect at makeup, but having a cohesive style is nice. No, it's nice to see.
I think so too. And what I want to counter is like me saying get good at makeup technique is not the same thing as like do your makeup like everybody else.
No. Yeah. Do it like how it feels and looks good on your face. And that could be, even though I don't believe it, not wearing blush. But I think you should try blush at least once.
But that's the thing is like I look at someone like you, your face, the detail in your makeup, from the eyebrows to the contour to the blush to like the under eyes to everything. You have good makeup technique. You know what I mean? The application is there. You've done the work and you understand. Like, I think a lot of these girls are mixing creams, powders, like doing whatever, just like adding texture.
Yeah, I think that is the thing. And I will say I do own quite a bit of bougie products, but like my whole base that I use today is all cheap. I use
like Mayron.
Wet n Wild and kimchi. Kimchi. Concealers. Yeah,
they're amazing too.
I really like them. Cheap, really thick, really good. You can work with products that aren't super expensive.
You want to know what? Kimchi has a powder that is probably
it's pretty good too.
It's wonderful, and it's like maybe $1 or $2 more than Airspun.
Yeah.
So
there are ways, yeah. And there's some really good NYX across the entire
I use NYX liner. I mean, there's lots of accessible cheap makeup too. That's my issue too. Is like if you're still gonna go buy Airspun, and there's so many other better things. Also, Clown White. I have beef with Clown White.
I kind of like Clown White.
No, I hate Clown White. I hate it so much.
Also, I will say this. I also have viewed makeup now, and as I do drag, makeup is just tools, and so tools work differently on whatever you're doing, and tools work differently for, your face.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're someone who has a super dry face, certain powders might not work for you. That doesn't mean necessarily that those powders suck. They just don't work for you,
or
and that's fine.
Or if you have skin, Airspun doesn't usually work. You know what I'm saying?
That too, yeah. But, but I think sometimes we immediately want to be like, this thing sucks, I throw it out the window. Not that I'm coming for you.
It's fine.
But there's also finding ways of like some things that say they're for certain things actually work better as other things. Like
totally.
Highlight, I use like an eyeliner.
Yeah.
But putting it on my eyes is actually terrible, and I shouldn't do it because it won't come off. But putting it as little like accent colors on my face works really well.
Yeah.
I use a lot of eyeshadows as blush.
I use lipsticks as blush.
Lipsticks, yeah. There's a lot of creative ways you can do makeup and play around with it.
Yeah.
Have fun, you guys.
Have fun with makeup, and just like I said, just like learn some technique.
Learn
makeup.
a
little bit. Learn how to tap your makeup into your face instead of like smearing things.
Get
across.
a couple brushes.
Yes. Get
throw
more than
away
two.
those little those square thingies. You know what I mean?
You know what? I should make like a list of like a starter kit of like what things you should do if you want to like start doing drag. Or like what makeup I think that'd be good. If I'm going to sit here and talk shit.
I know we are talking a lot of shit, and I'm trying to be like.
No. Honestly, I haven't talked shit on a lot of my episodes.
Talking shit is good. And also this, come for us. If
people will, come for me.
us.
If you think that your makeup is bad and Miz Diamond Wigfall might have said so on the podcast, please tag me and let's fight.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll be there and I'll film it.
All right, Peewee. It has been a wonderful, wonderful episode to have you here. I love you so goddamn much. You are my biological son. Biological, not my drag son. It's my biological son, and you can figure it out, and you can take that as you need to, okay? Any things you want to plug before we go?
You can follow me on Instagram at Vermin Peewee.
Put your little hand up, and then it will be right there. Wherever it may be.
I have a lot of June gigs. Come to them. Watch me cry in the corner before I perform. Yeah, me too. I'm going to be crying every day in June, but it's okay. Also, click on my link tree. I have a lot of fun things, like art and stuff. And you sell art? Yeah. Wonderful art. Amazing. I have one of your little wonderful gowns. Beautiful gowns. I have one of your pieces of art in my apartment. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. You're the best. All right. That was Yas Talk with Miz Diamond Wigfall and special guest Peewee Vermin. I want to give a shout out to Peabody TV. We love you so much. We love you, Randall. Randall, hi. That is episode 5. I can't believe we're already at 5 episodes. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. All right. That is it for me, Miz Diamond Wigfall and Yas Talk. I hope that you have a wonderful day.